Are you an investor who's thought about investing in other markets or outside just the market that you know very well, but you're a little bit hesitant about what to look for and where to go? Today we're going to talk about 5 tips to look for in investing in other markets outside your own to make sure it's a market with solid fundamentals that's going to profit in the long term. And the first thing that you want to look for in a market, just to analyze it, is understanding the boom and bust cycle, but make sure that it has solid fundamentals. So for instance, if you take a market like Southern Florida, they are definitely going through a bust after a very major boom, but they have a very diverse economy. So you want to look for strong job market, access to credit for different industries, and having a lot of different businesses within that market will help to make sure that it's a solid market to invest in over the long term, and that those jobs are going to continue to stay in that market and support the local economy. The second thing to look for is to follow the money. And what I mean by this is anytime you see private industry investing a lot of dollars into a market, you should pay attention. So for example, in Marietta, Pennsylvania, Lancaster County, there's a major drug manufacturer that is investing $800 million to basically double the size of their plant and increase their production. That's going to create an additional 200 jobs for that area, and that kind of investment doesn't just happen and then go away the next day. That's going to be there for many years to come. So that's a solid fundamental to look for. The third thing to really look for and understand is your supply and demand dynamics. So in Texas, there's not a lot of zoning restriction and there's a lot of land. So they've been building and building and building. So because of that, it has really put a pressure on their downward rents and on their overall market because there's been so much supply. But there's also really solid demand. So that's a lot of those markets are going to come back once all that supply gets absorbed because they still have very solid fundamentals, as previously mentioned. The fourth thing to look for is your transportation hubs. And these are infrastructure things like ports, railways, major highways, because anytime you have industry and growth, those are going to be attracted to where there's already the infrastructure, because that infrastructure is very time intensive and very costly to put in. So, for example, in central Pennsylvania, we are on a combination of a lot of major highways, which collectively put this location within an 8 hours drive of half of the entire North American population. And because of that, it's a huge area for warehousing and manufacturing because they have access to transportation, which is a vital part of a solid and growing economy. The fifth thing to look for is natural resources. And natural resources have really become a hot button issue because more and more we're trying to make sure that natural resources and the industries we're using is coming from the United States. So there's a lot of places in the United States, like Alaska, for example, has a lot of natural resources, oil, but they might not have a lot of other industry. Like we talked about previously, it's great to have a diverse economy. So look for those natural resources because those are definitely going to feed and support the economy, but make sure it also has a very amount of industry as well. So I hope those 5 tips brought you some value. If so, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you're looking for investment properties or land throughout central Pennsylvania or northern Maryland, please reach out to us. We're happy to help.